What is it? Your father's lightsaber. This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight. Not as clumsy or random as a blaster.
Hey, what's happening everyone? I'm SirJames coming at you guys with another video, and hopefully you guys are doing well. And today is a day that you guys have been waiting for such a long time now. That is my review on the lightsaber keyblade. Okay, it's not a lightsaber keyblade, but I'm pretty sure that exists somewhere. I'm pretty sure someone did at one point. But it is a review of a lightsaber, and that is the Graflex Supreme. That's been chilling in the background for quite some time now, but it is now time to give you guys my final thoughts on this thing. So before we begin, a couple things I want to address is that at the end of this review, I have some information in regards to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It was going to take a little bit longer to talk about, so which is why I'm saving that at the end of this video. And also to inform you that if you are interested in a Graflex Supreme lightsaber, or maybe any other lightsaber, specifically from Korbanth, for example, is that Korbanth this Saturday is going to be doing a mid-year restock. So if there's any particular lightsaber that's been out of stock on their website, they're going to be updating it this weekend. I'll get whatever information I can from my email, and I'll put it in the video description down below. As for me, I'm going to try to go for the updated Mace Windu lightsaber that's going to be restocked, and let me know what you guys might try to go for as well. There's even a help from the promo shots from Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2, so that help's going to be there as well. So let's go ahead and get on to the review itself. Now, once again, this is the Graflex Supreme. That's the name of the lightsaber, or as everyone prefers it, as Anakin's lightsaber or Luke's lightsaber. I specifically like to call it the Skywalker Legacy because it's been passed down to, well, people within the Skywalker family. And I just think that's a little bit more of a fitting name. That's just my personal opinion, but you guys can let me know what you think in the comments. Now, this is a 89 Sabers hilt, so in terms of the overall build quality and how this feels in hand, feels very good. Definitely a very well-built Graflex saber indeed. So let me go ahead and give you guys a closer look here, because I actually have some additional components. And one of the things that I was actually kind of surprised about is typically when I get a lightsaber, I like to kind of look online to see if there's any way to further customize or enhance the lightsaber, or can I get additional parts for, what are some of the different options out there. And I found that the Graflex lightsaber in general seems to be the more customizable one, unless if you have like a hilt that has interchangeable parts. I forget the term that's used, but it's parts that you can get from like Saberforge, for example. But besides that, the Graflex online through different companies, you can get additional bottom sleeves, you can get different clamp cards, you can get different clamps, you can get different glass size, or you can change the glass side to an additional red button, so you can go ahead and configure to whatever variation of the lightsaber you want. But let me give you guys a closer look here. Now, I don't have this in any particular configuration, it's because I just don't remember them all on top of my head. So starting on the top here, now what's cool about the glass eye is that when there's a blade inserted, is that you could actually see the light shine through, which is pretty neat. And the way this works here is that if you squeeze this, it allows you to put in your 1-inch blade. And then, of course, you have your clamp here, which I'll remove the sleeve in just a moment. And the D-ring is easy to replace. If you want the other style, which is for A New Hope, if I remember correctly, then you could just remove these ones and put the other style on. So the way this works, if you want to remove this, you just basically pull this upwards. The card comes loose. You just twist, and this slides off, revealing the internals. So this has the Proffie board version 2.2, or the Proffie 2.2 with the latest firmware update. It's got a 28mm speaker. It's also got a removable battery, which for me, I do like the removable batteries more than the rechargeable ones, just because if you had a convention or whatever, you could just replace the batteries with these. And it's got a kill switch right here, so we just go ahead and turn this off, turn it back on.
This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight.
Exactly. Obi-Wan pretty much explains it right there. This is a weapon of a Jedi Knight. And you just basically bring it all back together, put the card in place, and then put the clamp in, and then now you are good to go, and that is nice and secure. You could always tighten it up a little bit more if you prefer it that way, but it does it justice, and that's not going to go anywhere. Now, in terms of the weight of this hilt with its current install, currently weighs in, oops, I put the saber on the scale too fast. So this currently weighs in with its install 1 pound 8.1 ounces. So that is not bad. Like I said, there's a little bit of weight to it, but it feels comfortable indeed. Now, before we actually put a blade in it, I wanted to showcase some additional components to show what I mean about customization. So for example, here we have a sleeve. This sleeve is from a website called Roman Props. And they actually have a lot of different Graflex parts too, along with clamp guards that you can get. Now this one I noticed, or I didn't notice until after I bought it, is that it actually didn't have any ventilation for sound on the bottom, so I had to enable that by taking a Dremel tool to it. So as you can see, it's clean because the D-ring slot covers that cleanly. But you also got the screws here, so if you wanted to do the Empire Strikes Back variation or replace that to do, for example, The Force Awakens. And then we have another sleeve here along with a clamp here that's actually from KR Sabers. So if you wanted to do the style and more of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, then you can go with this configuration right here, which is pretty neat. And let me just go ahead and show you guys how this looks on here really quick, since we have it right here. This basically works the same exact way. You just bring this over, line the pieces up, twist, and then in order to tighten this, because you'll probably notice that there's no clamp thing for you to tighten, is that you remove this, which is a magnet, and you have to tighten these two screws on the bottom and the top here, and that will secure it in place. It's as simple as that. But as you can see, you have an undamaged version of that style if that is your personal preference. Now the other cool thing I will mention is because this is the one style hilt where you got the belt clip thing right here, is that this belt clip right here is actually quite strong. It's a lot more sturdier compared to the one on the Legacy Saber from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So KR Sabers did a really good job with that one. So kudos to you. So let's go ahead and just line everything up, and let's go ahead and pretty much insert a blade and fire this up. So give me a moment to turn off the lights and we'll go ahead and begin. Alright, so one thing I did forget to mention before I turn off the rest of the lights is in terms of the activation and whatnot, is that on this side here, this red button is actually going to be the main activation for the saber. And this also has a second button, but this button is more of a switch, and that is this little side piece here, which will allow you to activate the blasters and or to change different fonts. So just so you guys are aware of it, so let's go ahead and turn off this light now. Now that we got the darkness with the nice backdrop, every time I see the lights turn off and I'm just looking at the lens finder, I just love this backdrop. I just like how it improved over the time. So let's go ahead and start on font 1 here, which is from A New Hope. So activate. So again, you got your smooth swings and everything. And of course, quotes.
Use the Force, Luke.
Bulky religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster in your sack, kid.
And of course, if you press the button, it will go to deactivate. Now, this first font also has music. I figured why not pay tribute to the best band in the world. You guys know who I'm talking about. Okay, that's copyrighted. So yeah, definitely, again, best band in the world. Tribute to A New Hope. I figure it's the best way to kind of start the video there. And once again.
Bulky religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster in your sack, kid.
And then if you enable the toggle switch on the side here, it does the whole blaster. And that sound should be familiar, which we're actually going to touch upon that the next font over. So let's go ahead and deactivate. And again, flipping that toggle switch here on the side. Now, last time I had that font, you guys know I had that blade style from Fernando. I didn't enable that blade style, but I did add I think this one has the random flicker. But first we need to activate the sound on here for the training droid. For example, 1 second. There you go. Activate. Yeah, this one's got the random flicker. So you can go ahead and recreate that moment where Luke is training. And then just incorporate the blasters. And then activate some quotes.
Look, good against remotes is one thing. Good against the living, it's something else.
And then another one.
Kid, I've flown from one side of the galaxy to the other. I've seen a lot of strange stuff, but I've never seen anything to make me believe there's one all-powerful force controlling everything. The mystical energy field controls my destiny.
Oop. And then hold for a second, then let go to deactivate the sound. Next font over. Let's see, which one was this one? I think this one had the Imperial March for the music. There you go. No, copyright music. There you go. I don't want to play the music too long because you know how Disney gets. Then activate. And then, of course,
The power of the dark side.
that is true, because dark side is quite surprising. And it's kind of weird seeing, honestly, this particular graphics with the red blade in it. That's quite cool. It's like, you know, imagine if Luke went to the dark side. That's basically how I picture it.
Don't make me destroy you.
And then deactivate, and then switch.
Reset the chamber for Skywalker.
Okay, so this one actually got fixed. If you guys recall, I mentioned that there was a font that I had for the carbon freezing chamber that I couldn't get on there just because it wasn't working correctly. Which, let me actually enable something really quick here. I wanted to add a little bit of lighting so the hopefully the autofocusing on this isn't going crazy trying to find my face. But I did fix the font for the carbon freezing chamber to add that background track.
The Force is with you, young Skywalker. But you are not a Jedi yet.
And then basically you'll hear Darth Vader's breathing, but the ambient sound, I'm just going to let this play just for a few seconds so you guys can kind of hear the background sound. And then eventually you'll hear announcements from Cloud City and whatnot, and of course activate.
Perhaps you are not as strong as the Emperor thought.
So there's the background I was trying to let you guys know about. So I really like that.
Welcome, young Skywalker.
This one is, okay, get green for Luke. Of course, you know, Luke had the green one at the Return of the Jedi, so this is not the correct help, but it doesn't matter because with custom sabers you can have whatever font you want and whatever, you know, whatever color you want to. You can even have a pink blade. Next.
Hello, Master. It's been a while.
Commander Tano. Still one of my favorite fonts too. I just like how this sounds and everything. Which, speaking of Tano, I actually going to be buying a empty hilt from somebody. It's it's kind of in the style for Ahsoka, but it's got etched in things related to the Old Republic, so it's a little bit more customized. That's it.
With your help, the Jedi can stop Sidious before it's too late. Master Kenobi always said there's no such thing as luck.
Oop. No. I keep letting go too soon. You gotta hold it for a couple seconds.
You're lucky Anakin didn't show up.
And I always find that funny where Ahsoka talks about, you know, Obi-Wan says there's no luck, and then she goes on to say, oh, you're lucky Anakin didn't show up. Or Obi-Wan. Let's see, next up.
At last we will have our revenge.
Of course, gotta have... Let me fix this yet again. Of course, you gotta have Darth Maul. And yes, if you guys are curious, I did enable the track. Yeah, I'm playing it close with the copyrighted material here.
Traitor!
Of course, Kylo. Why not have an unstable blade?
The map to Skywalker. We know you found it. And now you're going to give it to the First Order.
Now, just like with the Darth Sidious hilt that I've reviewed, this one's also got a really nice loudspeaker. Same thing with the Darth Vader.
Kill them all.
Because it's that 28mm speaker, so it's a really good sounding one for sure.
Anything else?
Yeah, I think that covers it, Kylo.
It's time to let old things die.
This is the Ben Solo one. You know what? I've never tried to activate the side one because, you know, I'm kind of used to the 2 buttons instead of a toggle switch. So let's see if I can figure it out. Okay, so yeah, you pull down on the lever and then press the button, and then you can go ahead and cycle between an unstable blade or back to his original. And then I believe if you hold the red button,
We can rule together and bring a new order to the galaxy.
no, never mind. The switch, side switch. Oh yeah, it's the red button. You gotta press the red button, then it'll confirm. So yeah, see? We'll figure it out.
Why are you here, Ray, from nowhere?
Of course, Luke. Again. Oh, I keep deactivating.
Kylo failed you. I won't. I need someone to show me my place in all this.
Next up,
The old man's gonna knock on the sky. Listen to the sound.
of course. Most of these you guys seen before, but just in case you've never been on my original videos, this is a Tron one. This one can be found on Saber font. I think if you type in Tron Legacy, you should be able to find this font and the next one, which is...
Tron, what have you become?
This one's my favorite from the Tron ones, because you know it's the Disc Wars. Never get enough of that one. Just something about it. Just, again, because the Discord part was my favorite. That and the light cycle, but I don't think there's a light cycle style font.
I do not serve the Emperor.
Of course, Star Killer. Oop. Oh, I muted. There you go.
What is thy bidding, my master? Rise, my apprentice. Do not forget that you still serve me.
Exactly.
This party's over.
Or my favorite is that, like,
Low battery.
oh, got a low battery. So there's also a low battery indicator. So we'll try to get through a few more fonts here. So Mace Windu.
I am going to end this once and for all. I am going to end this once and for all.
I could swear that he has more than just that quote. At least I didn't add the, you know, enough is enough. I've had it with these, and then you know the rest. I just want to use the actual cussing term.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must.
Now this one, I believe, besides that moment, the quotes are just Anakin.
If you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
Yep, Anakin.
You underestimate my power.
Don't try it, and then sliced in half.
I will have my vengeance.
Of course, you guys know this one by now.
Low battery.
Thank you for the low battery warning. Never get enough of that one. Okay, this low battery thing is going to get crazy. So we'll do a couple more because, again, these are mostly repeats anyways.
It is obvious that this contest cannot be decided by our knowledge of the Force.
Ooh.
Typical Jedi. Brave, but stupid. I'll show you the true power of the dark side.
Oh, yeah. And then, let's see. Yoda.
Low battery.
Yes, I know, low battery. It's my fault for not charging it. I remember to charge my camera batteries and stuff, just not this one. Oh, no, never mind. That looks like the battery is now dead. Yep, battery is dead.
Low battery.
Yes, I know. So I do apologize for that low battery bit there. I thought the battery was charged, but I guess I was wrong, and I didn't have a spare on me at hand. But as I stated, it is a removable battery. This was the battery that was inside just a couple minutes ago. So before we wrap this up, I want to kind of showcase a couple things really quick. The other option that I have here is that I have this brass looking glass eye that I also ordered from Props Foundry, which works. And just to kind of demonstrate how this works, if you want to incorporate these extra pieces here, specifically the area that goes where the glass eye goes, all you do is simply unscrew it. It requires no additional tools, but I will say that if you buy the glass eye from Props Foundry, you will need to modify yours a little bit. And the modification is that it comes in at quite of an extra length. So I took something like sandpaper and just filed it down to the proper sizing, and it works like so. And so we're just gonna go ahead and take this extra red button here. So if you were wanting to configure your lightsaber specifically to Empire Strikes Back, you just got to find the groove, and just like that, it slides right in there. So now you got the 2 red buttons set up, which of course the second red button is not gonna do anything, it's just there for the looks of it. And again, it's as simple as that. And I'm also going to go ahead and put the other glass eye on just to demonstrate how that looks on this particular saber. You're just going to take that little spring that was on there originally. It does come with an extra string, but this is actually quite long. You probably have to cut that down in size. Just like with the other one, line up the parts. Once you do so, you just simply screw it right in. And then now you have it with the brass look. I personally like the brass looking glass eye. That's just me. Let me know which variation that you like in the comment section down below. So, alright, so before I end the video, just a couple quick things to go ahead and mention is in regards to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Is for one, is that what they're trying to do is to help with social distancing. So for example, the shop that would carry the Legacy Sabers, instead, the Legacy Sabers are being sold where the Savi's Workshop Station is located. Meaning that as of right now, this is temporary until this whole COVID thing is done with, is that you can't buy a Savi's Workshop lightsaber, only Legacies. Next thing is in regards to the X-Wing suit that a few people reached out to help me out. Apparently the Resistance camp is not opened as they're using the space to also help with social distancing, so which means that my plans on reviewing that suit isn't going to be happening anytime soon. So I do apologize, but I do thank those who reached out and wanted to provide a helping hand. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys on the next lightsaber review.
For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic. Before the dark times. Before the Empire.